I think the location is really bigger than any kind of designer. It's a bigger story. It existed way before the designer. So one thing that we can do with the location is actually to adapt from it, get something from it.
But you're open to stimulus from the location. Kung may marinig ka or merong ano, you don't deny it. It's part of, you allow it to affect you.
The main goal of the production designer is to find the best assertion they can get from the location.
You can do all of that preparation, pero pag roll na, you're playing off the space, the location, as it is unfolding or as it is revealing itself to you. May nangyayari sa likod mo, di ba? Very telling yan. But let me ask you, kung kailangan ng market location, how would you make this, aside from yung kailangan ng director, yung hinahanap niya, let's say framing and all of that, and character, and how would you make it your own?
Make it my own. Okay. Sige. Ako direct, as a production designer, I believe that production design is script writing, but with objects. So, yun siya sa akin.
Yeah.
So, every time that I get a project, I think about what the film is really discussing. So, babalik din siya din sa theme ng film. If we're trying to say a sentence, can you compose that within the objects that you find in the location? That's what I believe. So, for example, if you see the location, and I'm talking about this idea in a particular film, nako-compose ko ba yung sentence na yun by using visuals within that kind of location. Kunyari, Babait Baril, the way I designed it back in 2019, it discusses violence. It's a funny thing because when I got the project, ako lang yung lalaki dun sa buong project. Lahat sila babae. And I asked Ray Red, I asked her, bakit ako lang ang lalaki dito? Sabi niya, because she wanted to establish the idea that the world was created by men.
Okay.
That it's unfit for women. Sabi ko, okay. Then that can be a design concept. How can I show violence in this space? I had to collaborate with a costume designer by making the costume of Janine Gutierrez very, very soft. But at the same time, this space is very, it's wet, grimy, and sharp, and dark. So it's very masculine in terms of establishing masikip yung mundo. You have a lot of foregrounds every time, so that the world we're seeing is created by men.
A well-prepared PD production design allows you to be specific in the choices kasi in that way they become more recognizable because they can happen because we recognize specifics eh. Inagaw mo lahat sa akin, for instance, yung hinahanap naming bahay ni Maricel doon, Soriano, and that had that whole story was all about keep secrets. One character is trying to keep the past. Si Maricel ayaw pag-usapin yung nangyari sa nakaraan. Si Snooki, yung kapatid niya, gusto na maungkatin yung nangyari sa nakaraan. So there's that natural tension, conflict between them. So we were looking for a location na maraming mukhang yung bahay nila, which is principal doon sa nakaraan. Yung mukhang medyo may sa sinister mood or maraming maitatago na that kind of feel. May isa ako nakita na ang daming interior windows. I think napansin ko yan, typical sa mga bahay ko ba sa Ilocos Norte. So you can really look into each other's rooms. No? When I go into a location, I look at the place as a character. Ano magagawa? Ano mako-contribute if it were a character? Anong dialogue ng location na yon? Na magiging kakampi ba yung location na yon or magiging kaaway nung main character sa gusto niyang gawin or yung other character na kausap niya? That's why I was talking about choices earlier kasi that's where you get also the background and the voice of your collaborators from the options that they choose, the choices that they share with you. So I think that's really important para we can all jointly tell that story which is not just what's in the script, pero it's all of our own personal backgrounds that are bleeding into the choices that we make. The location pwedeng kakampi or kaaway ng If you have a location nga, let's say a chase scene, no? tumatakbo siya, hinahabol siya ng police, and at the same time, hinahanap niya yung anak niya to give a gift to yung child. So the location and the way it was shot, talagang ito sa tenement building na daming hagdan-hagdan, ang daming walls na corners na pwedeng taguan. So that was acting in a major character. Talaga you could feel that location as a real character. Pwede siyang kakampi siya in the sense na tinutulungan ng location siyang magtago sa police. Pero kaaway siya kasi because of that complicated, hindi na mahanap yung anak niya is going around there. Who's also nagmamasyal-masyal doon. So hindi na mahanap. The location should be it's not just some random container of action.
Okay.
No? It plays a role just a conflict.
Ako as a production designer, hindi ko masasabi na it's all on me.
Yeah.
When it comes to design, or it's just my art department. In fact, parang buong art department ko is actually the Filipino community. Because for Babae at Baril, dumating kami sa point na kumakatok kami sa mga pintuan.
Oo.
I mean, libre lang naman makiusap eh. And it's, I think, for one Filipino to another, lagi nagtutulungan siya. Pwede ba makikabit ng tubo dyan? Pwede ba makisabit ng bumbilya? Meron ba kayong sofa dyan? Yung mga ganong aspects.
Yeah, so I think nakakatulong talaga yung yung location, yung cooperation ng community. Communities generally are helpful. You know, they're cooperative. Naalala ko sa inago mo lahat sa akin, yung bahay kubo. Of course, we asked permission, pero ang dami ko kasing gustong makuha ng angles. But I had to remove one wall of the of the bahay kubo. Okay. We had to remove it para may dali sa labas, and then magdadali ganon across the bahay kubo. Pero we needed that space outside. You are aware yourself that you're encroaching on their, di ba?
Community.
On their community, on their turf, at saka yung kanilang peace, na everyday peace, kasi if the production naman is respectful of the of the location, the surroundings, they help, di ba? They want it to work, and so we're really
as long
grateful.
As you respect the location din.
We're really grateful to the local communities, at they're really malaking binibigay din nila.
Saging pa sa sahig.
Daming saging. O, ito. Ano to? Dinesign din niyo yung saging. Authentic
Saging pa nga
daw.
po sa sahig sa akin dito.
Sarap naman dito, pati ulan na didinig natin.
Participative. There are certain things that sometimes we just cannot copy from an authentic location. Like, for example, with this one, yung mga taong dumadaan, the layers of how the space or this location has been lived.
Right.
Yung cases kasi, the reason why we select, we go for a studio or we go for a location na we have more control. I think yun yung main reason for most filmmakers selecting a particular location because you have more control. And because you have more control, it works to our convenience. It works to the convenience of the actors, convenience of the filmmakers. But if it's in the location, actually, the location is so much bigger than us.
Yeah.
So parang ang nangyayari, we adapt to the location. But if it's not a location and it's controlled, then the location adapts to us.
Right.
So because of that one, I do believe a certain level of authenticity is somehow lost. Kapag kunyari may dumaang tao dyan or may dumaang sorbetero, magre-react ka, di ba? Pag kinausap ka ng tao, magre-react ka eh. But in a space na recreated, we don't have that kind of interaction anymore. So it sometimes may certain part ng logic na nawawala kasi we're sticking to what we can control.
Yeah.
So ako, I think as a production designer, malaking bagay siya because, for example, some actors, they believe na kapag nakapasok sila sa nasuot nila ang costume, nakapasok sila sa isang set, alam nila na sila yun.
you know, the thing is, if you're acting in a space that feels real and that feels, if you feel you belong to it and you own it and it kind of like, it feels part of you, then it's easier to it's easier to play your objectives, your intentions as an actor, as if you really belong there. I think one lesson that I learned, I think, with the things that have changed, locations have changed. You know, yung sand dunes sa Ilocos Norte, sa Paway is not, maraming mga ano doon, mga
It's
empty
clear.
dunes, clear. And then the last time I went there, which is some time ago na, mga 20 years na to, may mga structures nang tumatayo doon towards the Fort Ilocania area. Meron na mga structures doon hindi na clean parang dunes, you know, meron na ako nakikita. So, mamimili ka na talaga ng mga anggulo. I shot mga awitang kita in Boracay, 1980, sa White Beach. 3 bahay ko bulangan nandun eh. So, ngayon, iba na ngayon, di ba? Ibang-iba. Things have changed. So, the locations have changed. So, I think one of the lessons I've learned, and that's for present filmmakers, we're shooting, sometimes we kind of take for granted what we have. So that's a lesson. Don't take for granted what you have in your own time. And, you know, just recognize the value of that and give it the respect it is, that is due to it. And that's why I hope in the future, we still go for the authentic experience, whether that's in design or in you know, recreating a scene. Choice of locations, working with actors, working through a scene with actors. And the important thing is keep your eyes and ears open, just listen to each other. I think that's my hope. You know, I guess na-sensitized. Like now, I can't ignore itong drilling dito at saka yung bells around. You know, but that's part of the authenticity of this location. I find that Filipino filmmakers and collaborators, you know, like PDs and cinematographers, can look around and easily find a way of delivering the same point in a different way.
Kahit anong gawin mo sa Filipino production designer, kahit saan sila iba to, makakaisip sila because they're very resourceful. Why? Because it's a natural part of being Filipino to be resourceful.
I think there's a lot of flexibility that we have that we can be proud of. I mean, there's confidence in quick thinking and adjusting and adapting. I think all of those contribute to a particular freshness in the voice, in the vision na lumalabas. It helps create that you know, the world that you're depicting.
Production designer, if you can imagine it, it's one thing. But if you can't execute it, that's something else. And for you to be able to execute it, it doesn't require one person. It cannot be just you. So you need to collaborate with other people. It's important that whatever you're thinking can be something na naiisip din nila. If it cannot be executed, then it's nothing.
The future of filmmaking is really the personal voice of the filmmakers. It's important for filmmakers and storytellers to keep in touch to be really sensitive and open-eyed and open-eared to what's going on around them in their present life. And then find a way, whether it's classical or new something, or you will invent your own language, find a way to share what you're feeling. For me, that's what's valuable. We're all storytellers. We tell the stories of ourselves as well as ourselves in this country. You don't know, baka bukas wala na tong market na to, o wala na yung tulay na yan, or wala na yung location na yan. So it's also good. You're also keeping a picture of your country, your city, your environment at a certain time. Diba? So it's good to, you know, let's give it the respect it's due.